Hello everyone, Sensei Hayashi here. I have a special guest with me today. I have Cary Yoshio, Mizobe Sensei. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So if you don't know Mizobe Sensei, he owns Westside Kendo Dojo over here in off of we're on 113 Main Street in El Segundo. Just a little background about Sensei is he is a 5th degree in Kendo. He is also has a 1st degree in Iaido.
Actually, 2nd degree.
A 2nd degree.
No, actually 3rd degree. But
3rd degree?
Yeah.
Okay, so I made a mistake on that. 3rd degree in Iaido. If you don't know what Iaido is with the sword. Am I saying that correctly? Right?
yes.
Good. Right, and it's mostly it's not like Kendo where you're combative. It's from the sword inside, right?
Yeah, it's a solo martial art. You don't practice with another partner because we're using steel sword. The practice swords are dull. There's no edge on it, but it has the same weight and same balance as a real sword. Later on, when you get into black belt rank, some people change over to a real sword, a sharp sword.
I see.
I did that when I was a Shodan, Nidan, and actually made a mistake, pulled down the handle too soon. It cut through the scabbard and cut my hand. Yeah, like it was not even there.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I learned the hard way.
Oh.
But,
Oh my gosh. Okay, very serious. Sharp knife, sharp sword. And now, do I have this correct? We have you have also a 1st degree black belt in Shotokan Karate?
yeah,
Karate.
I had to stop because of bad knee.
Bad knee, okay.
That was from judo, so.
From judo.
Yeah.
And a black belt in Kempo Karate, and a 1st degree black belt in Kodokan Judo. Do I have that correct? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. And today we're going to be talking about Cobra Kai. Okay, so we just saw that, the trailer on that. We're going to be talking about Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid. So a little bit background about myself. I am talking to some of my students, my former students from International Institute of Martial Arts. Hello everyone, Sensei Hayashi here. And if you don't know who I am, myself, I am Sensei Ken Hayashi. I have a 1st in a W2F Taekwondo. I have a 1st in Hapkido, 1st in Hoshu Mundo, and I also have a 2nd degree in Wataru Karate. Okay, so 20 years of experience for myself. You've been training for over...
Oh man, I started when I was like 22, 23, and I'm 64 now, so...
Okay.
And then judo was...
Over 40 years of training.
Yeah, judo was earlier. That's when I was like 17, 18.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
okay.
I've been in the martial arts for a while.
For a very long time. I'm dedicated into the martial arts. Definitely. And then just a little background, I also work with the McMack program. Got to work with the Marine Corps martial art program, get training their 2nd degree. And also I've trained 50 world karate champions, if many of you don't know that. So if you could hear the noise right now, we are actually at his dojo. And they are practicing right now outside there. So if you hear that noise, they are doing real training, samurai training, kendo training, like that, back there with the students. So hopefully we get a footage of that. So today, we're going to be talking about Cobra Kai. Have you seen the trailer?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to watch the trailer together. Okay? Alright, so let's take a look. I'm going to go over here and let's take a look at the trailer. Alright.
Stuff here, or sometimes it'll slide up and hit you in the throat. So you need to move your...
Oh. 34 years later.
Who is it? Bonsai! Daniel Larusso here for Larusso Auto. We are chopping prices on all of our inventory. Chop!
Oh my.
Johnny? I knew it was you. This is Johnny Lawrence. He and I go way back. Oh, this is the guy whose ass you kicked. Well, if you want to get technical, I kicked his face. We're golf, man. Oh, I didn't know you guys were talking about heroes. Hey! Watch your car, man. Get the hell out of here, loser. Was that like Taekwondo or something? It's karate. Do you think you could teach me? I'm driving home from work yesterday, and in the strip mall, I see...
Cobra Kai!
Still the same. I heard you beat up a bunch of teenagers. I didn't beat up any teenagers. I kicked the crap out of a bunch of assholes who deserved it. Thinks he could bring Cobra Kai back to the valley? Not on my watch. You want those kids in school to keep dumping things on your head? You want all the girls to think you're a wangless dork? You're gonna be my karate teacher? No. I'm gonna be your sensei. I'm gonna teach you the style of karate that was taught to me. A method of fighting your pansy-ass generation desperately needs. Okay, let's see what you got. She's a girl. And? I'm sorry. Are you okay? Girl's a natural cobra. Johnny, you and I, we aren't done.
Okay.
Oh my.
Now, Sensei Mizobe, what are your thoughts on that?
They should have left well enough alone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Karate Kid is a classic. Obviously, from the trailer, Johnny Larusso hasn't learned anything from getting his butt whooped. He was just
Johnny, the blonde haired kid. Right. Okay, yeah. And then Daniel Larusso is, is Daniel's son, right? It's been a while, 1984.
Yeah, it's been around.
Came
It's
out.
been a long time. But apparently his sensei, Martin Cove, he's still teaching the same misguided philosophy of karate.
Right.
And one thing that's always bothered me is every movie, every portrayal of karate, it's always karate.
Yeah, karate.
Yeah.
And then we're saying karate is how you pronounce it. And obviously, we speak Japanese. Oh, I speak Japanese. I went to school in Japan. Karate is how you're supposed to say it, but they say karate.
Yeah.
So but continue. Yes.
I don't know. I'm just kind of doubtful of how this new series is gonna go.
Right.
What it's gonna portray, because it's actually coming from the viewpoint of the Cobra Kai.
The Cobra Kai, right?
And Johnny Priest, the sensei.
Right.
So I'm wondering, has he really changed his philosophy of the martial arts changed, or is he still, just out teaching whatever his warped sense of the martial arts?
To kick some ass, right?
And is he doing it, just as in the original Karate Kid, for strictly monetary reasons?
Right.
Instead of passing on the actual traditions of karate and the martial arts in general.
I see. Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll see. The series is coming out. It's really cool that they're reprising their role. Daniel Larusso and Johnny reprising the role. I haven't seen them very much, but looking forward to that. Now, did you? We met on a movie set.
Yes.
On a movie set. I'm not an actor. I'm not. I just happened to was pulled in there because Mizobe Sensei was playing a Yakuza crime boss.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen's directing a pilot called Ball Street, starring Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. I'm sorry, Don Cheadle. and I was Sensei's bodyguard. I pretty much looked just like this, but I was your bodyguard, and it was a cool set. You know, it was neat.
It was interesting.
Yeah, we were watching some guys get beaten up. That was part of the thing, and he, Sensei gives them a check, right? So that's how it works.
Yeah, and you probably won't recognize me because they had an eye patch and a monocle on me.
Right.
So apparently I have no eye and I can't see out.
You can't see out the other eye. So that's how we originally met. Now the karate you had mentioned about the Karate Kid, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said you knew Pat, right?
I knew Mr. Miyagi. I knew Pat Morita for 20 years.
Really?
Yes.
Well, now, unfortunately, if you don't know, he's not in there because he did pass away, Pat Morita. But what could you tell me about him? What was your experience with the real Mr. Miyagi?
Totally different than the movie. When I first went to see the movie, I remember sitting in the theater going, "Oh, there's Pat. Okay, it looks like Pat." And then when he opened his mouth and started talking, it was like, "Okay, doesn't sound like Pat because Pat doesn't talk that way."
He doesn't talk that way. He doesn't even speak Japanese.
No.
No, he doesn't.
And all of a sudden, "Oh, Daniel-san." I'm like,
Right.
okay. And then he's Daniel's karate teacher, and Pat knew nothing about the martial arts.
And you're not putting him down or anything.
Oh,
He's
no.
not a martial artist.
No.
He's a comedian.
He's an actor. He's
He's
a comedian.
an actor and a comedian. He was on Happy Days as Al.
Arnold.
Arnold, yes.
And prior to that, he was doing stand-up at clubs and.
Really?
Yeah, he was actually working the Playboy Club circuit at one time.
Oh, wow.
When Pat started out, he was a computer technician when computers were like the size of a room, and you had to have key punch cards and all of that kind of stuff that nobody knows what they are now.
Right.
And the story goes, he was a funny guy. So somebody one day said, "Hey, you ought to, start doing comedy."
Oh.
So one of his first gigs, he was in the Midwest someplace at some kind of a convention, Shriners Convention, Elks Convention, something or other. And they introduced him, said, "Here's an up-and-coming comedian, please welcome Mr. Pat Morita." Pat came out on stage and he looked out in the audience and he saw nothing but Caucasian faces, and they were all basically sitting there like this.
Oh. Yeah.
So, Pat didn't know how to break the ice, so he just basically looked at everybody and says, "Hey, I'm really sorry about your harbor, but I didn't do it."
Right?
and that kind of broke the ice. Everybody started laughing, and he was okay from there.
Okay.
But it was interesting to see Pat in the original Karate Kid and the subsequent the sequels that followed.
Right. Yeah, he played the role perfectly. Obviously he's a legend, but he's not a martial artist. But you actually are an actor. You're an actor.
No, I'm an actor
He's
also.
He's an actor and a real martial artist. So that's you're in essence almost like you're the real Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, you too much TV. you more better get real job.
Okay, that's good. And let's take a look at this. I caught this just recently. This is the reason why I thought of Sensei Mizobe here. Okay, I saw this. I just ran through this. We saw each other on the set. I just played a Yakuza. I pretty much looked like this. It was no big deal. But later I saw this, and let's take a look from College Humor.
Oh.
We're gonna check this out. All right, here we go. I love this.
Wise Guru, I seek your wisdom. I just graduated college and I feel so lost. How do I become an adult?
To truly become enlightened, you must answer this riddle. He seeks an entry-level job to get experience, but he cannot get an entry-level job without experience.
That doesn't make any sense.
Then I will teach you. To get good credit, you must first accrue debt.
But why don't I just not spend money that I don't have? Isn't that more responsible?
You need a suit for an interview, but you cannot pay for the suit until they hire you.
Oh, I have a suit.
A nice one? Or one that's a little too roomy? They will not take your job application seriously if you do not live in the same city. But you cannot afford to move to the city without a job. The father calls the son lazy because the father worked 3 jobs to get by.
Where was this shot at?
The son only
This
wishes
was at
he had
Desponso
3
Gardens.
jobs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They have,
You are
like
underqualified
a
for the
Japanese
position
garden.
you want,
Right.
but
Right.
overqualified for the position you need.
No, but I know. I'll get an unpaid internship.
Yes, but then you cannot support yourself.
I could just live at home till I'm 30. I've got it. I figured out the answers to all your riddles. I'm fucked. We're all just totally fucked. Our fathers worked blue-collar jobs that afforded them fucking houses. Our mothers worked part-time jobs that put them through college. Can you imagine putting yourself through 4 years of college but working at McDonald's? I don't even think McDonald's would hire me. We're just fucked.
Now you understand, my son. Go out and complain about it.
Believe me, I will.
Wait. If you happen to find something and need a graphic designer, hook me up. I'm looking for a gig.
Cool. Cool, yeah, I will totally let you know. See ya.
Welcome to my life.
That's hilarious. So I mean, just as we're talking here, hopefully there is something that could be positioned for the Karate Kid. I don't know if it's possible like that. But have you seen
I could be Mr. Miyagi's brother.
your brother or something like that? Write you into the script, something like that. Hopefully. Now, have you heard of the concept about that Daniel was a bad guy? Have you seen that one?
No.
No. Okay. Again, today we're discussing the Karate Kid in the episode Cobra Kai that just came out. I'm here with the Sensei Mizobe, and I'm Sensei Hayashi. So we are actually real martial artists, okay? And Sensei is also an actor. So we're just going to be going over a couple of these videos and our candid thoughts on this. So let's take a look at this. The story of Karate Kid. If you don't know the story, the original one from 1984. The story is Daniel Larusso moves into a town from wherever he was from, and then he supposedly got bullied by a bunch of teenagers, right? And then he meets Mr. Miyagi, teaches him karate, takes him to a karate competition, and wins. That's kind of the story. Love stories in there and everything like that. But I just caught this on the internet, and it's a very interesting angle. So originally, Daniel Larusso is the hero, right? He's the hero, he's the Karate Kid. So, but this video, if you haven't seen this already, let's check this out, all right?
The Karate Kid is the story of Daniel, a violent sociopath who moves to a California town and begins tormenting a local boy and his friends. Johnny is a high school senior with a commitment to atone for past mistakes and move his life forward in a positive direction.
So, ex-degenerate, man. 8 a.m. tomorrow, I'm a senior. I've got 1 year to make it all work. And that's what I'm gonna do. Make it work.
They are destined to meet when Daniel's neighbor invites him to a beach party, where he becomes instantly obsessed with Johnny's newly ex-girlfriend, Allie.
And I.
After a courtship ritual consisting solely of creepy, unbroken eye contact, he approaches her, only to be summarily rebuffed. Johnny arrives to patch things up with Allie, but the discussion becomes heated.
Well, I want to talk to you, all right?
Now, I want to be clear about this. What Johnny is doing is not okay, and he should respect her wish to be left alone. Johnny is, in the end, a flawed hero. But one thing he is definitely not doing is getting violent. Daniel, however, seeing an opportunity to insert himself into Allie's life, chooses to escalate the situation, demanding the return of Allie's radio. Frustrated and heartbroken, Johnny complies with Daniel's request, and in the heat of the moment, pushes him down. Daniel now has the radio, and Allie is still in no danger. Nevertheless, he attacks Johnny, who merely steps aside, allowing Daniel to knock himself to the ground twice.
Oh, yeah! I didn't do anything!
But when Daniel refuses to let it go, Johnny must use force to end this violent outburst, for the safety of everyone present. So what is Daniel's response to Johnny's non-aggression? Pow, a sucker punch right to the mouth. Johnny defends himself, as is his legal right, and then de-escalates the situation by leaving the scene entirely. The next day in school, Daniel trips while playing sport ball. Rather than accepting that occasional bumps and bruises will happen during playtime, Daniel instead externalizes the blame onto Johnny's friend Bobby and proceeds to ground and pound him, MMA style. A few days later, Daniel attempts to enroll at a karate school, obviously intending to up his game so he can get revenge on Johnny. Put it this way, how would you feel if someone picked a fight with you, lost, and then went out the next day and bought a gun? Well, that's exactly how Johnny feels when Daniel shows up at Cobra Kai. So he decides to send a message. Your violence will not be tolerated, because Johnny knows what can happen when you teach karate to a person with a bad attitude. Months go by, and no one bothers anyone. Clearly, this conflict is over. Until Daniel, unprovoked and for absolutely no reason, drenches Johnny with water in the middle of a school function, ruining his night. To add irony to injury, Johnny was at that very moment sparking up a J, which is just about the least violent thing you can do.
A weasel snagged the bee. Alright.
But I digress. Daniel has crossed the line this time, and he knows it. After causing a multi-car collision, he flees into the night. There is no telling what further damage this unbalanced and violent individual will do, and once again, it falls on Johnny to contain Daniel's fury. After local busybody, karate master, and child batterer Mr. Miyagi intervenes, Daniel convinces him that this is somehow all Johnny's fault. So they go to Johnny's sacred place, the Cobra Kai studio, and challenge him to yet another fight. Johnny accepts the challenge and even agrees to refrain from defending himself against any more of Daniel's unprovoked aggression until the match.
No one touches the prima donna until the tournament.
Daniel, of course, sees this as a license to continue to harass Johnny in public with impunity.
Alright, watch this. Hey guys, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hey, sorry about the eye there, Johnny. Shoulder okay, Tommy? You guys be careful not to go stepping in front of any more buses now, alright?
The day of the tournament arrives. Johnny is there, defending his title. Daniel, meanwhile, is a danger to himself and others as he doesn't even know the basic rules of engagement.
Alright, what are the rules here?
Don't know.
To no one's surprise, Johnny advances to the final round, and karma catches up with Daniel when his leg is injured by the boy he wantonly attacked on the soccer field. However, just as Johnny is about to be awarded his trophy, Daniel is granted unnatural strength by the demon sorcerer Miyagi, enabling him to defeat Johnny and win the tournament in an upset. Ever mindful of good sportsmanship, Johnny lets go of his sadness at losing, subjugates his ego, and personally presents Daniel with his tainted blood trophy. May you choke on it in your wet dreams, you rotten little prick. Thanks for watching. Please click like and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.
Okay, Mizobe Sensei, what do you think of that?
You just ruined my favorite movie.
Oh no! I'm sorry. What did you think of that angle?
It's different. I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with it?
No, yeah. I mean, but you know, everyone's welcome to their own opinion.
To their own opinion, right.
And you've definitely put a different spin on it.
Right. That's not mine. That was I found that on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not something I created.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all. No,
I wasn't sure if that was you doing the commentary or not.
No, that wasn't me. No, that was something that I came across. I thought it was a very interesting angle. And it does have some valid points about Daniel. Actually, he is actually the aggressor in a couple of those scenes that actually did happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that Johnny was avoiding, which is more of a Hapkido type of move, where you're not actually confrontational. But that was a very interesting angle, but you didn't like that. That wasn't your thing. Now, I also did want to ask you, Sensei, so you have a judo black belt, but also you have a Shotokan and a Tempo karate black belt. What did you think of the karate that they present in the first Karate Kid?
Well, I knew exactly where Mr. Miyagi was going when, he was having Daniel wax the car, wax on right hand, wax off left hand, and then paint the fence.
Right.
And, sand the floor and all that stuff, because, those are basic karate moves. Painting the fence up and down, that's an upward block, downward block. wax on, wax off. That's a block here. That's a block
Right,
here.
right.
You know. So I knew, excuse me, I knew where the Mr. Miyagi character was going with that.
I see.
You know, almost immediately, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting way to approach that.
Right.
Because Daniel was being taught karate and didn't even realize it.
I see.
And it wasn't until a later scene where he kind of blows his top and he gets ticked off at Mr. Miyagi and he says, man, I'm just being your slave and, I'm washing your car and painting your damn fence and this and that. And Mr. Miyagi just, calls him to order. And he says, show me wax on, wax off.
Right.
And Daniel, his response is wax on, wax off.
Right.
And Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off. And then he has him going through everything, paint the fence,
Right.
Sand the floor. And then he just starts to attack Daniel. And then just out of reflex, he's blocking and, blocking everything that Mr. Miyagi is throwing at him.
Right.
And then that's when the realization comes. He goes, in his brain, it's like, wow, I don't know how he did that.
Uh-huh.
And then he realizes that Mr. Miyagi has been training him all along.
Right.
And he just didn't realize it.
Right. Yes.
And training that way, most people when they start, they want to just go out there and they think they're going to get their black belt right away and just start kicking butt everywhere.
Right.
Me personally, like if, I can always use new students.
Uh-huh.
I don't get paid to teach Kendo. This is a totally non-profit organization. We have our 501c3 non-profit status with the state of California. And I don't get paid to teach. This is all voluntary from my time.
I see.
So if somebody comes, from seeing our website or whatever, and they come in and they're interested in learning, if their first question is, how long does it take to get a black belt? I just point to the door.
Oh, I see.
And I say, you don't need to be here.
Right.
And they're looking at me like, why? I said, because if that's your main concern is getting a black belt, you don't need to be here. Then go down the street to McDojo or something.
Right. The McDojos, yeah.
As long as you're paying their money, they'll give you whatever belt you want because that's how they make money.
Right.
And they want to keep the students.
Yeah.
So they're gonna fast track them to yellow belt, green belt, brown belt, and so on, because they want to keep the student happy. If it's a younger student, they want to definitely keep the parents happy, because if there are more siblings, they want them to come in too.
Right.
That's their source of income.
Correct, yeah.
So, I don't have to worry about that because I'm not making a penny teaching Kendo.
So if you actually advance a belt, they deserve it. There's no monetary incentive for you to advance the belt, and that's what Sensei and Mizobe is talking about are when a lot of times with a lot of the dojos out there, unfortunately, there's when you advance to a belt, you do have to pay a belt test and stuff like that. And people will sometimes, some sensei, some masters out there will actually advance students because it generates income for the studio, right? So that's then the unfortunate. How did you think about the tournament scene?
The tournament scene, they didn't show a lot of the tournament, other than Daniel's matches, and they were just like quick. It's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, he proceeds to the next round.
Right.
And because it was out of, I'm not saying convenience, but when you shoot a movie, you only have a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to have long, drawn-out scenes if they're not germane to the storyline, even though they may be. But if they can get away with it, that saves on film, that saves on production time. So the tournament, it was just like quick snippets. You just saw, this match, winner, this next match, winner, and then it wasn't until the finals or semifinals where Larusso, Daniel, is, winning his matches and progressing up the ladder, so to speak. And then that led to the main match between Mr. Miyagi and Daniel and John Kreese and the Cobra Kai.
Right.
So, that was the big showdown that everybody's been waiting for that they knew was going to happen right from the early scenes of the movie.
Right. And that's an interesting, it's a competition, and it's funny because supposedly Daniel only gets training for like a couple of months, and then he wins the championship, the national championship, and it's suspected that it's the one in Long Beach that they do that competition originally by Chuck Norris. How he was doing most of the promotion.
Yeah, he did a lot of tournaments and stuff.
Right. So, but that's the story, inspirational story. We're gonna cut it right here. Make sure you join us on the next episode because I wanted to share with you something where the Karate Kid. I actually have a very deep connection with the Karate Kid as a sensei as well. But I'd like to share with that on the next episode. So, okay, bye for now. Bye.